Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So we know it's the weekend, as you can see from the title. Now, this is the movie review of Disney's new film for celebrating 100 years. It is Wish. So yes, now was this something I'd wished or looked forward to seeing, or do I wish they'd made a better movie? Let's get into it. So probably a little bit of background before going into when I'd seen the trailer. This didn't fill me too much with excitement as Disney movies go. For some reason, I was picking fault with the background animation. That it's kind of the same style that they've used in most stuff. I don't know why, but this had put my estimations rather than average a little bit low. So I went in with lower than expectations. So when you see my conclusion of what I thought, this might explain a little bit more. I might be slightly off the mark. Who knows, to most people. But anyway, so this is Wish. This is a very self-contained Disney movie. So we are in a island in the Mediterranean Sea, as what is detailed from the story. So it starts with a book, like many of the classic Disney films do, and obviously it is the main character Asha. She is kind of narrating this. As we go into say, basically this is based on Rosas, which is an island in the Mediterranean Sea. I don't know if it's probably fictional for this. So we have the main character Asha, played by Ariana DeBose, if I've pronounced that right. Apologies if I haven't. Basically, she lives on Rosas. She is kind of a guide person who shows people around. That is her job. And on it you have the king and queen. The king is called Magnifico. He is played by Chris Pine. I'll put pictures up of these people. Probably know who Chris Pine is and stuff. And Chris Pine is probably the famous person besides Alan Tudyk, who plays Valentino, sorry, not Valentino. And he's a goat who talks part of the way through the film. So anyway, you have this kingdom. Their king, he learns magic, and basically as a result of that, when you turn 18, you give him your wish, and if he deems it necessary, he will grant it. That is how the kingdom is ruled. So you obviously have the king and queen, and then everybody else is kind of minor to them, but it's all happy singing and dancing. Now, the story takes place with Asha. Her granddad is 100, coincides with Disney 100 years, where the connection is there. He really wants his wish, and she is applying to be the sorcerer's apprentice, so to speak. Magnifico's kind of apprentice, because he's looking for one. She's on the roster, and that's how the movie starts. They also know that when you become apprentice, it's likely that family members who have wishes, they get them granted. So she's kind of going in for a little bit of selfish reasons, so to speak. Anyway, so she has the audition. It goes all right, but then she starts to learn that basically, when the king takes everyone's wishes, he can only grant the wishes that he deems are productive and are very precise. If they're not precise, if there's too much grey area, so to speak, then this could cause issues for the kingdom, or he feels because he had a bad upbringing where he lived and grew up, unfortunately, it wasn't the greatest place. So if your wish is not specific, it doesn't get granted. Now, Asha, on learning of this and obviously asking for her granddad's wish to be granted, and he says no, it can't be because it's too vague. She learns that basically people's wishes they give him, that's it, and it kind of leaves them a little bit empty. And she is a person that is very focused on helping people, so she doesn't like this. Obviously, they have a little bit of falling out. Valentino, Magnifico, and Asha. She doesn't get the job. So as Disney fashion, she goes off. She kind of reminisces. She goes to a tree that is based on the side of this island where she used to sit with her dad, who unfortunately passed. As we know with Disney traditions, they like to kill a family member off. She wishes, a star comes to life, being the character Star, which is obviously what Wish is all about. And this star is very cheeky, mischievous. If I've got no apologies, get my words out. Obviously, when it puts its dust on people, people start talking. Like the goat, played by Alan Tudyk, Valentino. He gets a voice. A lot of chickens come alive, and a few other bits. Then you have Asha basically wanting to reclaim her granddad and her mum's wishes to give him back, and the king not wanting to, realizing that this star comes to life because it's like a bright burst of magic in the sky, realizes that he may be under attack or he's been threatened, and he kind of opens this evil book and becomes evil. Then you have the evil sorceress, kind of Jafar very looking at this. This reminds me a lot of places of like Aladdin, and then they have kind of the, she's trying to get back the wishes, he's starting to turn evil. You kind of know where this is going. She has a set of friends, and there are a lot of references to other Disney films in this and stuff. So overall, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Surprised a lot better. I've been listening to the music on Spotify and stuff. So when you go away and you listen to the songs and stuff like this, and still thinking about it many days later, I take that as a very good sign for a film. My wife does want to see this, so possibly I'm going to see this again very soon. But yeah, as Disney films go, I actually really liked it. Really thought it did. It ticked a lot of boxes. It's a very short film. I think it's only just over an hour and a half, and it is, so it gives you films of Aladdin and stuff like that. You know, Disney films are starting to become more closer to 2 hours, and they've tried to stretch stuff out, and they feature a lot of elements that I don't think have worked. Even like Elemental, that I like, but I didn't find it amazing. Whereas this sticks a bit more in me, maybe because it flashed back to a bit more of the modern, or probably like the 90s era of Disney. So anyway, let's slap spoiler warning up and let's get into the full ins and outs of this new Disney film. So as I've said, like, I really enjoyed this film, and obviously, you know, you have Asha. She wants to be an apprentice so she can get her granddad's wish granted. She goes to the king, they have a falling out, and obviously because she feels that he should give back the dreams, and he's like, no, I'm protecting them, and that's where he starts to spiral down his bad event. Helping Asha out, she has 7 friends who very much resemble characteristics of the 7 dwarfs. Even though they are kind of, I'm not say use the word woke, but there are, we find in a lot of films, producers stuff want to tick boxes, and this is where I find these 7, apart from there being 7 and trying to resemble the 7 dwarfs, there isn't enough time or a character building to kind of have these characters be very crucial, apart from like one thing that they do that requires 8 people, and you could have changed that to not include 8 people. And I feel like maybe there was, you know, where the main character would have 1 or 2 friends, maybe go back to like Tangled, you know, you have the horse, and you know, you only need 1 or 2, but it feels like they've gone down this, we want to be symbolic for like 7 dwarfs, but they've all got to, you know, one's got a handicapped limb, one's an introvert, and all this stuff, and it's like you're trying to tick boxes a little bit, Disney. You don't need, you know, if you'd had 2 or 3 friends, that would have been more or less enough. But anyway, so yeah, that was a point that it didn't sit too well, you know, say like just trying to shove more characters in for almost for the sake of it. But so anyway, so that's how the story goes. Obviously, Asha has the star, obviously the goat comes alive, she wants to sneak in, wants to steal the things. She employs her friends to distract the king. White makes a big announcement to say, look, there was magic in the sky, that wasn't me, that's something evil, we need to stop this, and basically puts a message out there. Basically, if you give information out on who done this or where the magic comes from, you'll get your wish granted. If you don't, you're never going to get your wish granted. You know, kind of very being manipulative. Asha does manage to get her granddad's dream back, but not her mum's, which is a bit of kind of at the very beginning, her granddad doesn't really appreciate her when she kind of tells him the truth. He's very hurt, but when he gets his dream back, he realizes that actually it makes more sense. She was trying to do the right thing. Yeah, there's some animals that come alive by Star. Star is a very good character, very well done for somebody who doesn't talk. It reminds me a bit of the Eve Wally kind of aspect. They hit really on the songs, are very catchy. Like when they bring in animals alive, there's a lot of animals that come alive. They have a little song earlier on, and then they get involved a little bit later. I say her at the 7 friends, one who I assume is sleepy because he's always tired. He kind of betrays her because he wants his wish, and he becomes kind of the evil apprentice or the evil knight. Yeah, but it's all right because he needs to kind of have some minions and stuff, because obviously he can't be everywhere and stuff like this. But yeah, I mean, and Chris Pine didn't do a bad job as the villain. Obviously, as we know with Disney films, they all come together. The people all come together and they defeat the king, and there are very much references to a lot of Disney stuff in here. There's Mickey Mouse symbols laid there, there's Peter Pan references, Mary Poppins. I'm not going to say too much. When you're watching them, you'll link on them. I kind of missed the Seven Dwarfs being the friends at first, but when I read up the bonus stuff, that was it. So overall, I'm going to give this movie 7.6. I've seen a lot of reviews online. I try to stay away from reviews, but it's a bit hard when you're and I know, but before even seeing it, that this wasn't rated that well. I think this is actually a kind of return to form for 100 years of Disney. They've gone back to kind of a classic style and a classic formula that they use like in the 90s. They work really well, but then you incorporate stuff from like Frozen, that like Asha, she doesn't have any love interest. They don't even mention that, which is good. It's probably why there doesn't have to be a love interest. She has friends, maybe too many friends, but she has friends, and there is that connection and people getting together kind of thwarts the evil wizard, which I say very much reminds me of Jafar in a lot of places. I say the songs are catchy and stuff like this, and I say it definitely feels like a very strong Disney movie from me. I say return to form, because as I say before this, we've had Elemental, which I like to say it's not really the song kind of dancey one I remember. You've had Strange Worlds, I think it was, which I can barely remember that. Let's say like in Frozen and stuff. The past few years of Disney movies have never really struck with me like the earlier 90s ones. They did so many classic movies. I do feel in a bit for Disney, because they used to, I think it's like a movie a year they used to come out with, and that used to be the big blockbuster. Now we have 2 or 3 that they're kind of diluting their skill set, and obviously with resources and everything and people, that does hinder them. But there we go. So that has been my review of the Disney movie Wish, celebrating 100 years of Disney. Have you seen this movie? Please let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know what you thought. What you thought about it. Very much interesting to see. Are you going to even see this film? Hopefully you've not watched at this point, because I don't want to spoil too much. There are still bits I haven't really included, but what did you think? As I say, I really liked it for the most part. Say there were a few bits like the friends. I'd even say like some of the writing for Alan Tudyk's character was a bit off pace, but it is what it is. But I say that's why it's got the review it as. But there we go. I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Hope you're all staying safe, and I'll see you in the next one.